I can lead the discussion. So, but I can't see any questions in the chat. No.
If anybody has hands to raise.
Now it's time for questions.
Well, let me ask a question then of Ladislav. So how did you engage the leaders at the regional and the ministerial level to actually implement doing much more for chronic non-cancer patients in the community to mobilize particularly those other 4 regions that weren't doing anything?
Thank you very much for this question, Frank. I think I had chance. I had chance because I were on the right place in the right time, and because of that, I years ago I started to think about palliative care in geriatrics in Czech Republic, maybe 2008. So the third thing, not only right place, right time, but also I was quite prepared for that, for the discussion. And I had vision. I had vision what I would like to offer. It means quite wide accessibility of the care. It was very nice for politicians. It was very nice for healthcare insurance. And of course, it was also very nice for colleagues. You must understand that this region, about 100,000 inhabitants, Trebic, is quite small region. And we can say maybe everybody knows everybody. So if you do care for patients in this region, sometimes or very often it means you sometimes also do care for your colleagues, for family of your colleagues, for family of some politicians, etc. So this is about experience, about common experience. This is about vision, and also, of course, it must be about excellence in communication. It must be about excellence in care planning, in symptom management, etc. We started with zero, but we wanted to show it could be different way when we have done years ago. And now when we have already some reflection in the office and the flight information system, so we have also data. So now it's not about is it a good journey? It's about, yes, it's important journey, and maybe the main thing which would, or for example, also governor or our politicians, which we have to use.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Here's a question to Fasana. How do you ensure safety, compliance, and prevent misuse of analgesics in the community camps, particular opioids?
Thank you. I guess Rajeshri ma'am has asked me this question. Thank you, Jared. Actually, the problem is with our national system, because in Bangladesh, only 3 or 4 centers in Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh, has got opioids. No other district or area the opioids are available. So what I have to do till now, we have to write the prescription and buy opioids from Dhaka and then send to the patients. And just I think 1 month back, I heard that one of the big organization that has got some permission to take the injectable opioids, not the tablet morphine. So it's really, I would say, ridiculous and pity, and really bad for us. And another thing is so we don't have to bother about the misuse, because we just make prescriptions for the patients who need the drugs, and we send to them through courier service, or through some of the patients, or sometimes when I go to the camps, then we deliver this. So no need to have any misuse on that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. One more question.
Yeah, I have a question for Mark.
Yeah.
So you talked, and you really illustrated your seeking, connecting, influencing. Is there something that you felt that you would have liked to have done differently in this process, which would have helped you be more effective, which you could recommend that other people think about doing when they embark on this strategy of relationship development?
Yeah. Look, I think, Frank, I'm just trying to think where some of those relationships didn't work. And I think it is sometimes, and it is, I see within government. So at my health service, we have high visibility and high recognition. It's a great space to be able to work with those relationships. But with government, the actual manager who looks after palliative care within the policy and planning is quite remote. And in fact, cutbacks in the department have made it more difficult. And I think it would have been better if I had spent time trying to nurture that relationship, as difficult as it was. But I had ways of trying to get other people that worked around that person. And so that was one strategy I used. But if I could have done it differently, I think I would have persisted with the more difficult relationships. And particularly this one individual, I would have liked to have, say, 6 months ago, been a little bit more forceful or a little bit more creative in how I approached that person and made those connections when they seemed to put up the barriers to those connections.
Charles always says, if there perceives to be a barrier, then take them to lunch or dinner. Does that work in your setting?
A bit hard during COVID 2020.
Oh yes, I guess
I could have sent Uber Eats around, I guess. But I most probably wouldn't have known their dietary requirements, so that might have been a black mark against me. Look, it's a point well taken, and I absolutely understand that as a mechanism forward. I think it was as convenient for me to be a bit resistive during the pandemic because we had a lot of other things to think about. But I actually do think they kind of hid themselves away a little bit and didn't make themselves available. So, but I'm sure I could have sent flowers or something, but it just seemed that it was irreconcilable, not just for myself, but a number of people in the sector. I think it was the person's own distress around the pandemic affecting the way they were operationalising and communicating. But you're right. I would have loved to have been able to take them to lunch or dinner.
Well, I'm just highlighting what we might do when it is safe to do that, yes.
Yes.
Totally understand the COVID situation. It was true universally.
Yeah, we have one last question from Christina Geller.
Yeah, thank you very much. This was, again, so very interesting. And I have a question for Mark, or maybe to everybody, because I wonder if we are maybe too much isolated in non-COVID times, because all the all the hints that you gave, all the success that you had in the pandemic, I wonder why it doesn't work in normal times. Is it our way to, maybe should we more force the to contact other professionals and other disciplines?
Look, just to quickly answer, Christine, thank you. I have thought about this actually. I think in many ways we all chisel our own little pathways in healthcare, and I think sometimes restrictive funding makes a difference. You know, we're only given a certain amount of funding to work with, and we have to work within our system. Organisations have structures that have been there for many years. The way people interact and organise things. And I think in many ways the pandemic was like a big shake-up that allowed us to see there are different ways of working and better ways of working. And, you know, I am pleased to say that many of those things have continued. So maybe this was the sort of quake that needed to happen to get people to re-establish tired pathways. I would say that for our system has been absolutely in reality at our healthcare service particularly, that it really has shaken things up and showed us that there were better ways to do things. So I don't think we're going to fall back into those old pathways is the way I see it.